What is good, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new Amazon video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing when it's time to quit your job. Now, to be honest, I'm listing this as an Amazon video, but this really could go for anyone. So if you don't work at Amazon and you're watching this video, you can go ahead and continue watching because this really goes for everybody. But yeah, in today's video, I will be discussing when it's time to quit your job. If you didn't see in the last video, a big announcement coming December 27th. That is an official date for it. Before, I just kept saying at the end of the year, but now I can definitely tell you December 27th is when I'm having my big announcement. So stay tuned for that. But with that being said, let's get straight into this video. So number one on when it is time to quit your job. This one is a big one, probably one of the biggest ones and the most clear-cut answer on why you should quit your job at Amazon or just your job in general. And that is when you're dreading going into work, or when it's your weekend time and you're not even working and you're thinking, man, I gotta go into work like in 3 days. Like I can't, I don't even want to bother with work. I can't stand going there. Like if you're dreading going into work, or if you're spending your weekends thinking, man, I have a shift in like 3 days, you need to quit your job. It is time to quit your job because you cannot live like that forever. Unfortunately, that is very, very bad for your mental health, and to think like that and to work like that and to have your work life so negative that it is affecting you outside of your work days, where you're just thinking, I have to go in a couple days, I'm dreading it. It's time to quit your job. Unfortunately, here at Amazon, I see a lot of employees like this where it is just every single day they get off, they're just dreading going in within the next couple of days. And I see it on the subreddit. There's a lot of unhappy people here, and I definitely do think that if you are like this, if you're dreading going in, or if you're dreading your next shift, I think it is time to quit your job. I think it is time to find something better, something that you're more happy with, and something that you are going to progress more in life with, and that is more creatively satisfying for you. So I think if you are in this position, definitely it is time to quit your job. Number two on when it is time to quit your job at Amazon, that is when you have been stationary for several years, or maybe just a couple of years, when you've been stationary and you haven't been progressing at all, and you kind of want to, or you just don't feel like you're meant to be there anymore. If you've been stationary and you haven't been moving up the ladder, it's really, really difficult to move up the ladder at Amazon. I say this all the time. They rarely move people up within. They rarely ever move them up the ladder. They usually hire outside and hire people into managerial positions. So it is definitely difficult to move up at Amazon. And if you've been in a stationary position, like let's say you've just been picking for several years, and maybe you've learned a couple other positions, but for the most part, you've mostly been picking. If that has been your case and you've been in that situation for the past couple of months, or especially years, I think it's definitely time to quit. Maybe go find a new job, maybe find somewhere else to work. As hard as it may be, you got to get out of your comfort zone and just move somewhere else, because in my opinion, in life, you should always be progressing, always finding something better to do, always finding what's next. And maybe if you don't want to completely leave Amazon, you can go ahead and do something on the side. Maybe you can take reduced hours at Amazon and do something on the side and maybe build that up first so you could officially leave Amazon. Or maybe you could just stay at Amazon and do a second job or a second passion project on the outside where you're constantly moving up there. Because in my opinion, in life, you should always be progressing, and I think that if you're not, and you've been stationary for a few years and you've been considering leaving, I think it's definitely time to leave your job at Amazon. Number three on when it is time to quit your job at Amazon or your job in general, it's when you wouldn't recommend this job to your friends or family. So if somebody asks you, hey, like, how do you like working in Amazon? And you say, I don't know. And they ask, I've been thinking about getting a job there. Should I get one? And you say, nah, like, I don't think so. You should definitely avoid this place. If you are in this position at Amazon or at any job in general ever, if you're in a position where you wouldn't recommend the job to your friends or family, it's time to quit. Because if you wouldn't want your friends or family to be there, I don't think you should be there either. Clearly something isn't right when you wouldn't recommend your own job to other people. If you're not happy there, or maybe you're just having some issues, something is going on where you wouldn't recommend that job to other people. And if you wouldn't recommend the job to other people, I definitely think it is time to quit. And if you're at Amazon and you're in the situation where people are asking you, what's it like working there? And then they ask, should they work there? And you say no, I definitely think that it's time to quit. Because if you don't want them in that position, why are you putting yourself in that position? You should hold yourself up to a higher standard, and you should definitely leave Amazon and find something better for yourself where you will recommend, hey, it would be cool if you worked, or like, come over here, like I have a good job recommendation for you. But yeah, these are just recommendations. These are just tips. I'm not saying that you should concretely leave your job. If you listen to me, just know that these are recommendations. These are not concrete, and I'm not telling you need to quit your job, do it right now, but I am saying I would at least highly consider it, and I would quit your job if you were in some of these situations. If it was me, at least, I definitely would. Number four on why you should quit your job at Amazon, and that is if you aren't pursuing your passion. So if you want to be like a welder, or if you want to be a doctor, or if you want to work at a restaurant, or you want to own a business or anything like that, if there's something else that you want to do and you don't want to be with Amazon for the rest of your life, and you've already been there for a while and you just aren't pursuing your passion, it's time to go, because I definitely think that you should go pursue your passion. Don't let Amazon be the anchor where you're comfortable, you're making decent money, like you're just happy to be there, and you're like, I don't really care for this job. I'm just making enough money to live, so I'll deal with my passion later on in life. If you're in that situation, I think it's time to go, because you should go pursue your passion right now. Now, if that means you could stay at Amazon and maybe work full-time, or maybe work some reduced hours, and you can use that money to pursue your passion, like let's say you want to open a business, if you can use Amazon to help pay off that business, then great, go ahead and stay at Amazon. But if you think that Amazon is too much, or it's completely getting in the way of you pursuing your passion, like let's say you want to go to school and you want to become a nurse or something like that, if Amazon is too much for you and you can't do both, I think it's time to leave Amazon and go ahead and pursue that career, no matter what it takes. Now, if you're living on your own and you absolutely need a job, the situation is a little bit different, but there's always ways to find a way out, or maybe, like I said, just work some reduced hours and pursue your passion on the side. But overall, I just think if you're not currently pursuing your passion in life, or currently doing what you want to be doing for the rest of your life, you should at least be one, at least looking for it, or two, leaving where you're currently at and going towards it immediately. That's just my opinion though, and I think that if you are pursuing your passion, definitely you should quit Amazon. But for number 5, the last piece of advice I can give you in why you should quit your job at Amazon is, if you find yourself complaining and venting to people every single time you're away from work, or just in general, if you're sitting there complaining every single day, like if you go home and maybe you have a family member or a spouse that you talk to and all you're doing is complaining to them, like, oh man, work sucked today, work sucks every day, and I hate this job, I can't stand it, I don't want to be here anymore, I hate working here. If you find yourself doing that like every single day for several weeks or several months at a time, and you're constantly living like that, where pretty much all you want to talk about is how much you hate work outside of work, if that is your situation, definitely you got to go, you got to get out of there, because clearly you're not happy and you definitely should not be there. If you find yourself hating your job so much that it is all you want to talk about and all you want to vent about, and don't get me wrong, it's okay to vent. You should vent. You should definitely talk to people about this and talk about how you don't like it. But if you're doing this like maybe maybe you do it one day out of a week or something, you just have a bad day for a couple of weeks, let's say, that's pretty understandable. That's really normal. It's perfectly fine to not like your job for a day. Maybe your day, you had a really bad day at work. Everybody has bad days at work. It happens. Maybe that goes on for maybe a month or two. That is normal. But if you're complaining about your job for several months on end, like if you're there for like 6 months, and for the past 6 months you've complained how much you hate your job, and you've talked to people how much you just don't like it and how hard and stressful it is, then it is definitely, in my opinion, time to go, time to get out of there. And if you are in this situation working at Amazon where you're complaining online, or you're complaining to people maybe in person, maybe somebody you live with or some friends or something like that, I think it's time to go. It's definitely time to pursue something that is going to make you much more happy outside of Amazon. And don't get me wrong, it can be difficult to leave your comfort zone, but I definitely do think it's time to take the leap and go ahead and do that. But yeah, I mean, that's all I can say. If you are in any of these situations, I do think that you should probably at least consider quitting your job, or at least thinking about what's next in life, and do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, just do what makes you happy. Whatever you're super happy with, whatever fills you with joy, and whatever you're passionate about, go ahead and do that at the end of the day. That's my biggest piece of advice I can give. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna end that video there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it and subscribe down below, and comment down below what you thought about this video, what your thoughts are, what your opinions are. And if you have any time that you think maybe you should quit Amazon, comment that down below as well. Comment down some advice you can give some people, and yeah, just go ahead and talk to other people in the comments, and I will catch you guys on the next one. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nathan Padilla, and go ahead and join the Discord down below. If you ever have any questions about what it's like working at Amazon, or any tips or anything like that outside of the comment section, because sometimes the comments do automatically get deleted for whatever reason, go ahead and join my Discord, and we talk about everything there. You know, we talk about stuff outside of Amazon. We talk about Amazon all the time. We just have good discussion over there. So go ahead and join down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.